welcome to Pluribus Unum's Fireside Chats. Not as good as FDR's, but hey, it's something. So, today, this one isn't normally with these thoughts on videos, I usually aim at a big person, but the individual in this video just so happens to be a kind of big person. And no, I don't mean his weight. Ha 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 ha. But, he's seen as a smaller creator, quote unquote. But he has more subscribers than me, so I can talk bad about him as much as I want. But first, let's get right into the news. First, here's the biggest one. The government shutdown. Now, government shutdowns are no new. I've experienced quite a few government shutdowns in my life. But the reason why this government shutdown is so important is this is the first government shutdown that has come across when I did my show. I know, such an accomplishment. If the government shuts down, and all you do is talk about politics and government on YouTube, does that mean you don't exist? Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't feel so good. Anyways, first I'm gonna start off with news of the people who aren't in power. Well, aside from the fact that the government shutdown's all about Trump's border wall and it's like, give me money, and the Democrats are like, nope. But anyways, this one is specifically a newer news story. Democrats blocked Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's push for a Green New Deal committee. Instead, Democrats are sticking to their original plan and channeled ExxonMobil in an announcement of refusing to bar members who accept fossil fuel money. Why am I not surprised? Maybe, just maybe, it's because this is what the Democrats always freaking do. Something that they always do. And this is just the big thing that they love to do. Find something progressive and take it down. Just smash it. Yet people think that they don't do that. I'll get to that near the end of the video. I'll get to that. You'll see what I mean. But I guess this is also a good thing for the Green Party, because then they get to be like, hey, we're pushing for the Green New Deal since 2010. Maybe, just maybe, you can support us, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Ocasio-Cortez is more than likely going to support the Progressive Democrat and then just say, you know what, guys? Maybe Michael Bloomberg isn't that bad after all. Because, unfortunately, that's what most Democrats have to do. And if they do not, they usually have to just be like, I'm just going to stay out of the race because I don't think this candidate's the best. While simultaneously always bashing the Republican, indicating that they want the Democrat to win. That's just how it is. But anyways, speaking of changes in the Senate and stuff, the first big change that's coming to the Senate is Senator Lamar Alexander will not seek re-election in 2020. Republican Senator Lamar Alexander announced Monday that he will not seek another term. I will not be a candidate for re-election for the United States Senate in 2020. The people in Tennessee have been very generous, electing me to serve more combined years as senator and governor than anyone else from our state, Alexander said in a statement. I am deeply grateful, but now it is time for someone else to have that privilege. Hey, John Wolf Jr., this could be a chance. I'm just saying, There's an endorsement waiting right there for you if you decide to take up the mantle to do this. If you do it again, I mean, I'll save you a seat. Hit me up. Maybe I'll give you some more spring. Maybe I'll put you on line to some bigger news people. Maybe, just maybe. Okay. The next major change in the Senate is this. Martha McSally appointed to John McCain's Senate seat. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey is announcing that Republican Representative Martha McSally to the Senate. Ducey said in a statement, it's Tuesday, McSally narrowly lost a race this year to Democrat Kyrsten Sinema for Arizona's other Senate seat, which opened after Jeff Flake opted against seeking re-election. McSally will replace GOP Senator John Keel, who is resigning months after Ducey selected him in September to fill the temporary vacancy for former Senator John McCain, who died in August. With her experience and long record of service, Martha is uniquely qualified to step up and fight for Arizona's interests in the United States Senate. Yeah, that's why you picked her, not because she literally just ran not that long ago, and that you just want to use this as a Republican power grab. No. You did this because you thought she was such an honest and intellectual woman, and if she didn't run for the Senate seat, it wouldn't have affected your decision at all. This is literally just a Republican power grab. Like, seriously. What else is it? A person leaves their elected office to run for a higher office, and then when that same office chooses to change their mind and be like, hey, you know what, maybe, just maybe, you can be the other one of that office. You can be the other senator. You don't have to be Jeff Flake. You can be John McCain. John McCain was a cool guy, right? And many people might think, well, at least we're gonna get one liberal progressive in representing Arizona. We're gonna get one progressive in Raul Grijalva. We ain't getting that with Kyrsten Sinema. She's literally a corporate establishment. She's not even like she doesn't even be like, she's not even a neoliberal and tries to be like, oh no, I'm actually progressive. No, she's very openly conservative. She's a member of the Blue Dog Coalition and the Problem Solvers Caucus. The one that was openly criticized by Mark Buchanan, who literally said like, hey, I want to problem solve and screw bipartisanship, and we need to get things done. Oh wait, hold on a second. This isn't trying to get things done. This is literally just a gaping hole for the establishment to just come out. She's but Kyrsten Sinema is a woman, and she's bisexual, and she's an atheist. Well, I mean, she doesn't say she's an atheist. She doesn't even say like, oh, I'm a secular humanist. No. She can't even say that. I mean, come on. Why would you want to be secular in this secular government? Come on. As you can see, I'm not a fan of Kyrsten Sinema or Martha McSally. I had other people that I liked in that Senate race. Adam Kokesh ran for that Senate seat. And 2 Greens, one was kicked off the ballot, and the other just endorsed Sinema, just be like, hey, I'm going to endorse Sinema. Like, the worst part is, Sinema, she actually has like a strong progressive past. If you actually look at her past, she was like a huge Ralph Nader supporter, campaigned heavily for the Green Party early in her political career. But, I mean, why would she be that now? She's been in the House for a million years. So, I mean, it's like, why? And then with these conservative Democrats, people just go, well, fall in line. You just gotta support them. But anyways, now let's go over some local news with my home state of North Carolina. First, there was a huge problem with the voter ID bill. For those of you who don't know, there was like a couple of amendments that North Carolina got to vote for. I said it in a previous podcast. One of the amendments was a voter ID amendment. Now, of course, voter IDs have pros and cons. Many Democrats and a lot of left-leaning people and the ACLU of North Carolina openly opposed voter ID bills and would say that they would veto and sue to get this bill off the spot. And Cooper did. When the Senate voted, Governor Cooper vetoed it. But then the NC Senate overridden his veto, so this could be law. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I think it has to go to the House. Yeah, I think it might have to go back to the House to get another veto. No, I don't think so. I think this is just law now. It's not officially law yet. They gotta get it like right now it's law. But, they have to notarize it, I guess, is the term I'm trying to use. So, on the bright side, by the next election, I'll probably have a license or, at the very least, an ID card. Because, well, I'm gonna need that. Another local news is North Carolina District 9. Apparently, the results are still very close to count, and there's so much shenanigans going on in that particular race that there may be a big problem. And, well, the big thing is, so much so that they're actually considering redoing the entire election for District 9. And when I say the entire election, I mean they literally, a lot of the people in the Republican-controlled Senate want to actually redo so that it can be another primary process. Now, I don't know if that explicitly means that they would, I assume that just means that, there's just another primary process. McCready and whoever he's running against would have to go through another primary process. They'd have to fight some new candidates and da-da-da-da. And the reason why it seems like an okay idea, because, it could lead to another progressive axe getting a seat in North Carolina. I would like that very much. But they would, and Roy Cooper, kind of surprisingly and unsurprisingly, vetoed the primary one. Why? Because he wants it to be another election between Blue Dog McCready and whoever he's running against. He wants it to be those two because Cooper, he's not really a lefty. He's not. After learning about, the only thing I can really think about Roy Cooper that I'm actually like, yeah, he got rid of HB2. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I actually tried to do research on North Carolina 2016 elections to try and figure out, okay, who would I have supported? Realistically, who would I have supported? And there's a lot of shady business with Deborah Ross and Roy Cooper. The two biggest things, biggest things being that for some reason, on the only website that I could find campaign donations on, there was a good majority of both of their money that was unaccounted for. And I'm like, it doesn't really bode well. Being corporate money is one thing, but I don't even know where that money came from. What the F, bro? Now, Deborah Ross was endorsed by Our Revolution, but then again, so was Veronica Escobar, and I literally just dumped that bee into the water. And like, I mean, for the North Carolina Senate race, I don't see too much for that 2016 Senate race. I didn't really see much difference. I probably would have voted for Deborah Ross had I had the chance. My ballot would have been Deborah Ross for governor, Bernie Sanders for president, obviously, and for governor, wait, did I say Deborah Ross for governor or senator? I think I might have said governor by accident. If I did, I meant Deborah for senator, and if I didn't, I made a correction for nothing. But Deborah for senator, Bernie for president, and for governor is the only one that actually legitimately was like, oh, okay, I actually like his opponent, Ken Spalding, who was his black Democrat opponent. I mean, that's good. That's cool. I mean, he wasn't explicitly for Medicare for all, but he was like, I guess technically the closest thing you could get to Medicare for all in North Carolina without being Medicare for all, expanding Medicare to everybody, is the words that he used on his website, I think. So, pretty much Medicare for all. But, wording it in a way to be like, if Medicare for all was given to me, I'd probably co-sponsor it. But if Medicare for all was not given it to me, then, basically enough wiggle room to be like, I like universal health care, but maybe I wouldn't openly support it because blank, blank, blank. Okay, now, there are 3 last news stories, and each of these 3 can be attributed in any order you want, but I think this is the best order to say it in. First, something, I know this will be coming as a shock, but here's something positive about the Trump administration. Trump orders U.S. troops out of Syria, declares victory over ISIS. Senators slam action as a mistake. President Donald Trump called Wednesday for a U.S. withdrawal from Syria over the apparent objections of military advisors and a bipartisan group of lawmakers. The withdrawal of more than 2,000 troops is based on Trump's decision that mission against ISIS is complete. Trump tweeted out a video statement where he said the U.S.'s heroes should be brought home because they have accomplished the mission defeating ISIS. Now we've won. Trump said, it's time to come back. They're getting ready. You're gonna see them soon. He also stated that he was gonna remove 7,000 troops from Afghanistan. What are my thoughts? This is great. I mean, 7,000 troops out of 14,000 in Afghanistan. There's 7,000 more. Maybe you could pull out of those guys. You could pull those guys out soon. But I mean, otherwise, this is a good idea. This is a good decision on the Trump administration. He pulled out troops from Syria. That's a good thing. Now, people have been saying, oh, but Russia, Vladimir Putin. No. It's like, I don't even get the basis of the argument. It's like, Vladimir Putin doesn't want us to kill our troopers anymore. Oh no. I don't give a shit what the reason is. Trump removed troops from the endless wars we are involved in. Democrats should not be saying, oh, we gotta put the troops back inside. We gotta kill more troopers. They should be saying, yes, Donald Trump, yes, do this. I don't get it. What's with this hate boner against Russia? Why is everybody screaming at the top of their lungs, we need to attack Russia, we need to make Russia angry, we need to do everything in our power to make Russia mad at us? Why? Why do we want Russia to be mad at us? Unsurprisingly, I'm for the idea of, peace with Russia. That's a thing I'm for. And, ending military conflicts we have no reason to be involved in. Who cares about Syria? Fuck Syria. Fuck Iraq. Fuck Afghanistan. from Yemen. Pull out. I don't want to be in any of those wars. If Saudi Arabia wants to make genocide in Yemen, they have to do it with their own money. I don't care about this. I don't care about the Middle East. And especially considering many people are like, oh, but the troops are gonna... ISIS is still there. ISIS has been declared not a threat for months. For months. They were considered not a threat. Iraq defeated ISIS like 1,000,000 years ago. ISIS is to the point where they're no longer a threat. Now, I mean, maybe you could say, maybe there's something Donald Trump could have said to maybe say, hey, we're gonna leave, but if you attack, maybe we're gonna attack back. Then, I mean, that's reasonable enough to say. But I mean, overall, this is a good decision. Trump pulled out of a military conflict, much like he said in the campaign trail. And this is a good thing. And, like, it's kind of why, spoiler alert, for my updated presidential list when I talk about Trump, but I don't think that he's going to be as low as Buchanan and Bush. I think he's going to be higher than those two. And maybe even, like, who's the one above them? Hoover? Yeah. I think he's going to be above those guys. He's not going to be, like, number one. I'm not going to be doing that. But I'm just saying, he's going to be above, like, the bottom of the list. He's going to be in the bottom of the list. But he's going to be somewhere in between Reagan and Bush. The second one. So, yeah. Another thing that led to is this. Mattis resigning as Pentagon chief after clashes with Trump. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis resigned Thursday after clashing with President Trump over the abrupt withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria and after 2 years of deep disagreements over America's role in the world. Mattis, perhaps the most respected foreign policy official in the Trump administration. Why? Why is he that? The more Trump people that resign, the better. Believe that by the end of February, after 2 tumultuous years struggling to soften and moderate the president's hardline and sometimes sharply changing policies, he told Trump in a letter that he was leaving because you have the right to have a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with yours. So, what you're saying is, he wanted to kill Middle Eastern children, Trump didn't, and the problem is, many people are saying, like, oh, Jim Mattis, he's so cool. Why'd you make him resign, Trump? I don't care about Jim Mattis. I don't. If every single member of Trump's cabinet resigned tomorrow, I wouldn't care. There's a secret conspiracy theory that I noticed about a lot of his cabinet positions, like, Jeff Sessions and, what's another one? I guess Jeff Sessions is the one that pops in my head. I think there's, like, another one. But, like, they're, like, top government officials who have, like, already established jobs as, like, either a senator or something. But then, at one point, they resign. Ergo, they're out of a job. So, maybe that's Donald Trump's secret plan. He wants to put every single Republican in his cabinet so that he forces them to resign or fires them. I mean, again, this is a good thing, withdrawing from Syria. It's a good thing. It will always be a good thing. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna come back like a boomerang. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, my sister is super obsessed with the receding hairline Jojo Siwa, and she's just every time we tell her to do something, she's like, I don't care what they say, I'm gonna come back like a boomerang. It's really, really shocking that people are automatically against it. But again, I'm not surprised, because if I remember correctly, wasn't like the Democratic Party like screaming at the top of their lungs like, hey, you need to fight against the North Koreans, I think. Wow, I just gave a very, very strong, appealing thing that praised Donald Trump. One, I must be a Russian spy. Comrade, they expect nothing. But anyways, let's balance it out with Donald Trump hate. Trump administration reveals plans to open protected Arctic land. I don't know why I'm dyslexic. Trump administration reveals plans to open protected Arctic land to oil and gas development. The Trump administration has revealed details of a controversial plan to open up pristine protected area of the Arctic, a refuge for polar bears and native Alaskans, to oil and gas development, in a move that marked a significant step forward in its efforts to establish fossil fuel extraction in Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The government published a draft report of an environmental impact assessment. Well, planet Earth, it's been around for like 7 billion years, and we killed it even though humans have been around for a very short amount of time in the lifespan of the Earth, we've successfully destroyed the planet. Goodbye, folks. Have a nice day. And before you say, well, actually, the climate report says that we have 12 years. I've read reports that are like, we have 12 years yet left before we die, or 30 years left before we die. You think we're gonna fix the government? You think we're gonna fix all this climate change problems by now? Like, really? We're all gonna die, folks. This is just the simple truth. We're all going to die, and it's all our fault. Climate change is killing every single human being on the earth. All you people with babies, well, sucks to be you. You're gonna have to explain to your kids that's just what's gonna happen. And there's no and this is an issue that I don't debate climate change, because this is not a debatable issue. It's real. The end. It's like saying, let's debate on whether or not oxygen is real. Well, there is no debate. It's real. And if you don't accept that it's real, you're an idiot. And I don't care if you're conservative and you click unsubscribe, because it's the truth. Climate scientists have proven 100% that climate change is real, and you keep just blocking us out because you think that it's a political issue, even though it was never a political issue. Not really. The only reason that it became a political issue is because the government's the only people that are actually going to do something about it, and you keep saying we will need to be helped by private business, but every time we give it to the private market makes things worse, and they just say, well, we'll make it better, we'll just tell people to recycle, just because telling people to recycle is way better than making it mandatory. But I mean, come on, folks. I mean, you don't understand. This isn't like a thing. If we don't radically change the environmental protections now with a Green New Deal, we are all going to die. But on a lighter note, let's move on to the Blue Enigma Party. It's an enigma why this party is still around. The Blue Enigma Party was a ballot-qualified party in the U.S. state of Delaware. Founded in 2006, they became ballot-qualified for the 2008 election, placing candidates on the ballot for governor and other state offices. The Blue Enigma Party supported an education reform that would include more teachers, consolidation of the state's public school districts into a unified system, and improved curriculum in schools. The party also called for state government to tackle crime by adding more police in high crime areas and improving job opportunities in low income areas. The Blue Enigma Party supported green energy using solar, wind, and tidal power, along with expansion of curbside recycling to be a permanent fixture throughout the state. It also supported legalizing sports betting and an addition of poker rooms and casinos in order to generate revenue for the state. The party fielded candidates for governor, lieutenant governor, and in 3 races for state representative. Party founder Jeffrey Brown was listed as the party's candidate for governor and for state representative in District 13. Peter Cullen was the candidate for lieutenant governor. Stephen Michael Anand was the party's representative for state representative. At some point prior to September 30th, pretty much that's most of it. They kind of disappeared. Here's pretty much how it ended. The party's website doesn't exist anymore. The Facebook page went quiet in 2013, and a new Facebook page coming out in 2015 was basically like, hey, we're going to come back in 2016, be on the lookout. Nothing happened. And the last Facebook post indicated that they didn't have enough funding to keep the party going. But as of August 1st, 2017, there are 130 voters in Delaware that actually support the Blue Enigma Party and are currently registered under it. To which I say, good for you, Blue Enigma Party. You don't have as many people registered under your party as the Reform Party, but hey, at least you have nothing. You didn't even get a Jesse Ventura out of the deal. But now, let's move on to the progressive voice, or Sahil Habibi. I think that's his name, Sahil Habibi. Basically, who is the progressive voice? Well, I would personally describe him as a diet Cenk Uygur, or I guess a diet Cenk Uygur mixed with a Kyle Kulinski Zero. Well, let's have the progressive voice himself say who he is.
The Progressive Voice is an objective news outlet that is for the people. Here we bring justice to the real issues while maintaining healthy objectivity.
That's a fair way to describe himself. I wouldn't say he's 100% objective. I'm not 100% objective either. I try to be as objective as I can. But, I don't necessarily would say I'm objective. My intro literally says, basically my idea is, I'm telling you what I am, so you know what you're getting into. But, I guess this channel also does that, the progressive voice, so you would assume he's the voice for progressives. And mine literally is social democratic, progressive, center left, independent, so you know what you're getting into when you get into it. But let's see how Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks describes the progressive voice.
The TMZ of political punditry.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Oh, no way. He posted that and was excited about it. I guess technically, since they have millions of subscribers, I would want them to be excited if they saw my channel too and was like, hey, go sub to this guy. But anyway, I guess that's kind of my bigger problem with the progressive voice nowadays is, don't get me wrong. I guess he has his place, being the TMZ of political punditry, especially considering Kyle Kulinski, he gets mad that he always has to bring up Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter. He's like, I want to talk more about Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro, but I gotta cover the real news, son. And then Progressive Voice is like, I got you. And then he goes on to explain the problems with the new media. He gets to be the reporter of the new media, and that's all right. I mean, he has his place where he is, and I have my place where I am, at the bottom of the totem pole. He's kind of, I guess technically, to describe him and me, because we have comparisons, we're like around the same age, I think. Maybe he's like a year or two older than me, or I'm a year or two older than him. I mean, if I found out that he was younger than me and he had more subscribers than me, I don't know what I'd do, but I mean, like, I would describe him as kind of like a mix of Kyle Kulinski and Cenk Uygur. Especially considering Bering made that video, that YouTuber Bering, who I was subscribed to for like a month, and I was like, no thank you. It had nothing to do with the progressive voice and that controversy. I unsubscribed from Bering like a million years ago. But he insulted him by calling him like Chunky Uygur, or like something like that, like Young Chunk or something. I don't know. I don't really care, to be quite honest. But he is kind of like a mix of Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kulinski. And for me, I guess I'd be and I guess technically TMZ as well, because, the TMZ of political punditry. For me, I guess I'd be a mix of Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kulinski and Mr. Beat. Because I also do the, objective party history videos that made me, quote-unquote, famous. But my biggest, I guess technically, first of all, a problem with the idea of TMZ of political punditry is much like the actual TMZ. Many of his, like, thumbnails and stuff is usually just beef. Like him being, like, super mad and salty and clickbaity. Like, let me read some of his latest videos. I'm skipping over a couple. Milo Yiannopoulos calls out the intellectual dark web. H.A. Goodman own fans, turn on him. That time Kyle Kulinski went off on his own fans. Stefan Molyneux gets dunked on by everybody after he clowns himself. Jordan Peterson proves to be a total joke. Gavin McInnes banned from YouTube and kicked off CRTV, PayPal, Twitter, and Facebook. And I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with the stuff he says. I mean, Stefan Molyneux, he is a goofball. How did he say it? Like lunatic? But, he kind of, comes off as, clickbaity. Milton Friedman's worst position, abolish the FBA, the FDA. I mean, I don't even know if that's necessarily his worst political position. I guess it'd be up there. He also, posted, a million Dragon Ball Z videos in his feed when I was subscribed to him. And I was like, I don't care about Dragon Ball Z, bro. I don't care. That's why he made, 3 million more videos, not videos, channels. The sports voice, the Saiyan voice, the rap voice. To which I say, I guess it makes sense. And half of his polls in his community tab, which I don't have, YouTube, give me a community tab. I want to post polls. But, it's a lot of stuff that's kind of half of it's relevant to the U.S. political sphere and YouTube stuff. But some of it's who'd win in a fight, Alex Jones or Cenk Uygur? I guess it makes sense. I guess it's a fight. then it's like one's like, oh, like here's a good one. After Bernie Sanders, who's your second option for Democratic nominee for President of the United States? And then there's like, should I watch the new Broly movie? Or which album is better? It's, it's his channel, so do what you want. But, it doesn't necessarily scream progressive to be talking about Dragon Ball Z and stuff. And, again, his channel, do what you want. I don't care. I unsubscribed from him like a million years ago because I was kind of getting tired of like, Dave Rubin owned. Dave Rubin's a fucking god. He does those live streams where he's like, Dave Rubin is so amazing. Suck my dick. This is, boy, when he finds this video, when I show him this video, because I'm going to show him this video, I don't care. Fight me, bro. And then he shows up to my house and actually fights me and beats me up in real life. When I say fight me, I mean, let's have an intellectual discussion about the debates and ethics about voting third party and, Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore. This is where our biggest disagreement happens. Jimmy Dore. Progressive Voice fucking hates Jimmy Dore. And I love Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is like my second favorite online progressive news place. For online progressive news, I go to I rank them like this. Kyle Kulinski, Jimmy Dore, Humanist Report, Rational National, and then the rest. I guess technically Tom Hartman it's funny. Tom Hartman, the old guy who was on the radio, he outranks people like the Young Turks or Majority Report with Sam Cedar or who's another guy? David Pakman. Yeah. I totally forgot about David Pakman. Oh, and the Progressive Voice, but he doesn't really do that much. He doesn't really do that anymore. He mostly just calls out people. I don't even necessarily disagree with him calling people out. But, sometimes I think it's unwarranted. Like this. He talks about a theory that Jimmy Dore had about why Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton and Cory Booker were campaigning for Andrew Gillum. Afterwards, Jimmy basically said, I think that maybe they had ulterior motives to this. I'll let the Progressive Voice explain it more thoroughly.
Reason for Demon Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton and Cory Booker campaigning with Andrew Gillum is not because they believe that Andrew Gillum will win with their aid and with their help, but rather that those people want, Demon Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton and all the other people, they all want Andrew Gillum to lose because then it'll make an overarching point about how progressivism will not function or it will not succeed in being elected. That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Really? Because I've seen YouTube videos where people espouse that the god Thoth from ancient Egypt is coming back and going to be the new Jesus Christ and stuff. Maybe that's more crazy than this kind of proven to be legitimate fact. Not necessarily 100%. Maybe Jimmy's kind of I guess I don't know how to describe what I mean. But what I mean is, the Democratic Party has done a lot of stuff to undermine progressives in the past. So, to me personally, this doesn't necessarily seem that out of the ordinary. Because, they've run I mean, they literally rigged the primary, not Gillum's primary, they rigged the Bernie Sanders primary and Tim Canova's primary, and this is out of the ordinary to you? I mean, Democrats are totally fine letting a Republican win over a progressive. And before you say, well, I mean, I'm exaggerating, not really. Progressives have been screwed out of primaries, and their chances have been pretty much ruined in a lot of stuff. I mean, I guess you could say, well, this isn't exactly Andrew Gillum's case. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't seem that out of the ordinary for, if they're willing to do this, then maybe they're willing to do this. I mean, and with the Bernie Sanders thing, it wasn't even like a one-time thing. They've screwed over, like, Dennis Kucinich, Brad Miller, Jesse Jackson, Eugene McCarthy, S.S. Keyhofer, Al Sharpton, John Wolfe Jr., John D. Haywood, Darcy Richardson, Alan Grayson, Tim Canova, Lawrence Lessig. The list kind of goes on. There have been a lot of progressives that have just been completely screwed over in either the Democratic primary. Ben Jealous, especially, considering a lot of Maryland Democrats, literally were like, we'd rather vote for a Republican than you. Man, I mean, Democrats must have very unloyal people if they're willing to vote for the evil, nasty corporate party over the evil, nasty corporate party. Maybe there isn't that much difference between the Democrats and Republicans after all. And there's like this whole video of him just with like a bunch of Jimmy Dore clips where Jimmy Dore says things like questions the 9/11 conspiracy and like talks about the Vegas shooting and raises questions. Florida in the water and the Seth Rich controversy. I mean, it's fine if you don't necessarily agree with that, but, I mean, his description literally says, Jimmy Dore is an absolute lunatic and Alex Jones of the left. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, wouldn't you say? I mean, wouldn't the Alex Jones of the left be someone who espouses conspiracy theories that, like not even, like Alex Jones, he doesn't even say, like, Alex Jones isn't just like, I have a question about this doesn't make sense. Because Jimmy, he doesn't say like, oh, I know the truth. I know. The reason they're putting Florida in the water is because blah, 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 blah. All Jimmy says is, question, why are you putting Florida in the water? Question, why did Building 7 burn? Question, I don't really see that much evidence for the Vegas shooting. Oh no, someone doesn't have evidence of the Vegas shooting like the day after it happened. And the Seth Rich controversy, it's more possible than you think. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying, well, logically, that's the thing every conspiracy theorist says. I wouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying, like, the Seth Rich controversy, it makes sense to an extent. I mean, I haven't seen much evidence to explicitly say, like, oh, this makes sense, especially considering, like, the botched robbery. Yeah, that makes total sense. A botched robbery. They didn't take a damn thing, and it was a botched robbery. Yeah, it was totally botched. He didn't take anything. And I mean, I guess you could also say, like, well, if it was a Clinton person, they probably would have taken stuff to make it actually look a bit more legitimate. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know the 100% truth, but I'm just saying it's entirely possible. And my idea on conspiracy theories, it's all right to question the legitimacy of something, but to offer your own solution is crazy. Like, you can say, like, Building 7, it doesn't make sense why it burned down. Well, okay. Do you have any reason? No, and I'd like to get to the bottom of that. That's just reasonable doubt. Like, I have reasonable doubt that the Seth Rich thing happened the way it happened. It is entirely possible that Seth Rich could have supplied WikiLeaks with the emails. It's entirely possible. It seems more likely than Vladimir Putin giving them up. Then again, I could be completely wrong. And if I am completely wrong, well, I just haven't seen any foreseeable evidence of the Russian collusion, exactly how it happens. I haven't seen, especially considering, if I remember correctly, the last time I checked, the Democratic Party literally wouldn't give up any of their records about the emails. Because you can, I guess, I don't know exactly the 100% details, so I could be messing up completely. But, and also you could say this is from a biased source because I got it from Jimmy Dore. Well, Jimmy got it from a news website, I think. Man, that kind of makes me seem less credible when I say I think. But it was a source that said that the Democratic Party wouldn't supply a certain thing because, I don't know, it would have revealed where the hacker came from, who was the computer, and what was the IP address and stuff. But he didn't. They wouldn't give it up. Why? Maybe they have something to hide. Maybe they just didn't want to. Meh. I don't really come up with answers to the questions. I just raise the questions. I mean, like I said, the stuff that Progressive Voice does, I mean, I like some of the stuff. I mean, minus the Jimmy Dore bashing, because Jimmy Dore is great. Especially considering he seems to always take the side of someone who's not on Jimmy's side. And there's this whole controversy he did with the Amazing Atheist, where they got into a fight over voting. I thought the left was supposed to be the one that was like, yeah, man, do whatever you want. But a lot of the left has actually become the whole conservative base of like, these men fought for your right to vote. But, I mean, like, I don't want to play too much of that. I don't want to play any of the clips in the videos, because I remember, like, I was watching, like, both sides back to back, like, TJ going off, like, first, TJ with his first video being, like, how he didn't vote because he didn't see any viable candidates, and then Progressive Voice being like, hey, you should vote for someone, you should go vote anyways, even though none of the candidates interest you. Maybe you should vote for a third-party candidate. Maybe you should vote for the ballot initiatives. To which, fair point. And I mean, this is an issue where I'm actually on the Progressive Voice's side. I mean, I would prefer people to go vote than not to go vote. Honestly, I'm kind of also on a Kyle Kulinski side where I explain, like he explains that if anything should be mandatory, jury duty or voting should be mandatory, not jury duty. And Progressive Voice explains how he's like, you got, at least vote for the Green Party. And Which, I mean, Progressive Voice literally posted like a thing saying like Jimmy Dore's electoral strategy, ha 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 ha. And then I had like the Green Party with no major candidates. He always shits on the idea of voting third party. I mean, maybe not always. Maybe there's like the one time I didn't watch a video of his. He said, you know what, guys, I'm gonna vote third party always. I mean, but I haven't really seen him basically say like, hey, vote for the Green Party until he's trying to get some guy to vote. I mean, again, even though I'm on his side on this particular issue, I'm on his side on a lot of issues, but on this one, we also happen to be like, you know, TJ, maybe you should go vote. I mean, I voted in the 2018 midterms. My candidate was shit. He voted for the Patriot Act. Why would I endorse Hillary Clinton? I went and voted for him anyways. Because Richard L. Watkins wasn't there for me. But on the bright side, Richard L. Watkins is going to run in 2020, so, I mean, I'm going to be voting for him pretty soon. And Progressive Voice, he even got a concession from the Amazing Atheists who said, you know what, yeah, there were actually some ballot initiatives that I probably would have liked to vote for. So it's like, haha, got him. But I also agree with TJ on I don't agree with TJ on this one thing, and I'm surprised Progressive Voice didn't bring it up. I mean, and it's even from the mouth of Jimmy Dore. So Progressive Voice, when you see this video, this is a part I want you to explicitly listen to. If you ever want to bring this up on TJ again, who got more media attention? The 3,000 people who didn't vote in the Ohio District 12 election, or the 1,000 people who voted for Joe Manchin? If you want to make your voice heard even louder, a third-party candidate is a better way to do it. I mean, if I wanted to, I would have voted for freaking. I even considered voting for like freaking Gary Johnson in the 2016 election if I had the chance. It would have been a protest vote because I don't necessarily agree with him on a lot of things. But, you know, I do think that Gary Johnson would have been a much better president than freaking Hillary Clinton. I mean, at least Gary Johnson could say, I don't take corporate PAC money. And, I mean, you know, me and the Progressive Voice, we agree on pretty much a lot of the stuff, like, you know, Medicare for all and stuff, that Dave Rubin's a complete and total, liar and sellout, who sold out his sexuality and religion, or lack thereof, just to make some sweet Koch bros money. He also said that he wouldn't support Richard Ojeda in the 2020 presidential election, and I was like, I cried. But, I mean, I get where he's coming from, but, you know, I like Ojeda. Why is it always the people I like in the progressive/populist left news angle? Why isn't the people I like that he also happens to dislike, and why is the ones I dislike the ones that he likes? Except for Kyle Kulinski. I mean, don't think I didn't notice when you stole his look back in the old days. Just was scrolling through his YouTube feed and found this video of him saying Jimmy Dore abandons Kyle Kulinski's Justice Democrats, says we need new third party instead. Jimmy Dore didn't say that. Jimmy Dore is fully supportive of Justice Democrats. He's fully supportive of brand new Congress. He's fully supportive of our revolution. He's fully supportive of all these groups. I mean, it just so happens that his agreement also happens to be with the Green Party and with the Movement for the People's Party. Which, yeah, I'm on board too. I like all of them. I'll support all of their candidacies. But, any candidate running but with Movement for the People's Party, and any candidate running for Justice Democrats, and any candidate running for Our Revolution, and all those groups, I'll support, and the Green Party as well. I don't care what your party you identify with, as long as you're for the right issues. And Jimmy Dore, he's fully supportive of these people as well. Him and Kyle are fully on the group. It just so happens that they have a preferable scenario. Like, it just so happens that, I describe it like this. Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kulinski, and Hillary Clinton are on a boat together, that boat being the Democratic Party. Hillary Clinton drills a hole in the boat, and it starts sinking. They're close enough to shore, so that they're far enough from shore that if they swim, they have the possibility of drowning. If they try to jump off the ship and swim to shore, they have the possibility of drowning. Jimmy decides that he's going to abandon ship and try to swim to shore, even though he has the possibility of drowning. Kyle says there's no time for that. We need to just plug up the hole. But Hillary Clinton won't let him plug up the hole. So he also risks the potential of drowning. Both methods are alright when you think about it, because both have the possibility of drowning, but both also have the possibility of survival. It just so happens that each of them prefer one method over the other. Jimmy would much rather prefer a progressive new party, because with a lot of Democrats, it's harder to trust them. Personally, I'm more in favor of the Green Party route. Just go to the Green Party. We already got all the establishment there. We don't need to make a brand new political party. Especially considering, if you think Jimmy Dore is cruel on the Democrats, you should see how Movement for People's Party dealt with the progressive wave in the 2018 midterms. They literally shit on every single progressive Democrat. You should see freaking Joe Manchin. Back to Movement for a People's Party. They literally were like, Chuy Garcia, he was chosen by the Chicago political boss, and he's corrupt, and he made a backdoor deal without citing any evidence. All they had was Luis Gutierrez said, hey, I think Choi should be the next congressman. And then how they pretty much shit on all of the Justice Democrats who are running in progressive primaries. And they were like, oh, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ayanna Pressley were the only people who actually were true progressive wins, because Chuy Garcia was evil and was doing bad backdoor stuff, and Rashida Tlaib was replacing another progressive, and Ilhan Omar was also replacing another progressive. I would fully disagree with them, and I can explain why. I'll explain them here, and probably explain them other places, but Rashida Tlaib, she was running in a Democratic primary with John Conyers' son and nephew running as candidates against a corporate Democrat. She wasn't the party favorite. Ilhan Omar, okay, I guess you could say maybe was a party favorite, but Keith Ellison's ex-wife was also running the primary, and I think there was also a corporate Democrat as well. Ayanna Pressley, she was openly replacing a progressive Democrat. A Democrat she literally said would probably have the same voting record as her, but only replace him because, not so good. Luis Gutierrez wasn't that really that progressive, and Choi replaced him anyways. Joe Neguse, he was replacing a libertarian progressive. Mike Levin, he's rather progressive, and he was replacing a Republican. And Ayanna Presley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, of course we all know that story. So yeah, progressives had a lot of wins. Granted, they had a lot of losses as well. But I look at it more faithfully. I'm for an all of the above approach with my progressives. If they're blue, if they're green, if they're orange, if they're yellow, if they're tan or whatever, I don't care what their party is. For all I care, they could have a freaking R next to their name. In fact, I freaking endorse someone with an R next to their name. Rob Ryers. I didn't get to endorse Samuel Ronan because I didn't realize he was progressive or running at all. But, I'm running pretty much on the hour, so final thoughts on the progressive voice. He's not really my favorite progressive YouTuber. He's not. There are ones worse than him, and there are ones better than him. Obviously people like Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kulinski, Humanist Report, and David Doel. Those guys who have higher video quality and stuff have me and you beat Sahil. But you're better than people like Cenk Uygur or yes, I said it. You're better than Cenk Uygur. Take that as an accomplishment, or actually, you can really only take that as an accomplishment. But unless you like Cenk Uygur, which in that case you're just. Oh no, wait, actually, yeah, that would also make it an accomplishment. If you don't like Cenk Uygur, you might think, And Sam Cedar? Yeah, Sam Cedar too. So yeah, progressive voice. Put that on your YouTube banner. Progressive voice, better than Sam Cedar. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested in more political content from me, you can go to my website or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Quora. Or, well, I don't know if it'll be out yet. If it is, it'll be in the description. But it'll be a surprise. What are your thoughts on the progressive voice? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below.